Good morning, my Form 1 students. Pardon the noise. If you can hear some noise at the background, just pardon me and just focus on what we are going to do today. So last week we started with linear equations. It's a Form 2 topic, and we did linear equations without brackets. But today we are going to work with linear equations that involves brackets. Okay, that involves bracket. Now, how does the question come? The question comes like, find the truth set of the following equations. That's how the questions come. Find the truth set of the following equations. When they ask you to find the truth set, that means they are asking you to find the value of the variable in question here. So that means they are asking you to find the value of x. For question 2, they are asking you to find the value of y. For question 3, they are asking you to find the value of y. And for question 4, they are asking you to find the value of t. Okay, so at the end of the day, you should have something like x is equal to this, y is equal to this, y is equal to this, and t is equal to this. Now, the trick with this thing, how to solve a question like this, is that when you have a number in front of the bracket, right, it is that number that you are going to use to open the bracket, because you cannot work with it like this. You have to open the bracket. And you all know how you open bracket. You open bracket by using the number in front of the bracket to multiply each and every member inside the bracket, paying attention to the equation sign, to the operation sign, paying attention to the operation sign. So when you are multiplying, when you are opening the bracket, you have to pay attention to whether the operation sign you are multiplying is a positive or it is a negative sign, right? So let's start. First of all, let's pick the first question, which is 5x minus 2 is equal to 4x minus 1. So let's do this. 5 times x is what? 5x. You don't need to write 5 times x. No, you have to write just 5x. Then 5 times negative 2. A positive number times a negative number will always give you a negative answer. You know that anytime positive and negative are multiplying, the negative is always stronger. So it gets to have the final stand. So the answer will be what? Negative 10. 5 through 10, negative 10. So we open this bracket as well. 4 times x is what? 4x. 4 times minus 1 is what? Minus 4. This is the first step. So the first step is we have eliminated the bracket. Now the second step is you are going to group like terms. And you have to pay attention to this is equal to sign, which we normally call the border. You have to pay attention to the fact that whatever you are groupings you are doing here, this whatever number here is going to cross. This is equal to sign. If the number is here, it will cross to this side. And you know that when it crosses, it will no longer be, if it's a positive, it will be a negative when it crosses. And if it is a negative, it will be a positive when it crosses. So this is another thing that you have to pay attention to. So let's first of all group them. So what we normally do is we group the coefficients and the variables at the left-hand side, and we group other numbers on the right-hand side. So we have 5x, so we write our 5x here. Our 4 is a positive 4. You know that anytime a number is standing on this one and there's no negative sign or there's no positive sign, it is automatically a positive number. Now this positive 4 is crossing the is equal to sign here. So it's going to become what? A minus 4x. Then you bring your is equal to, because you don't have any variable and coefficient here. If we had, like, say, plus 5x here, we would have also crossed it to join it here. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay. Now, we've finished with the groupings of the x. Now, this negative 10 must join this negative 4 here. Now, since it's a negative 10 here, if it is crossing this is equal to sign, it's going to be a what? A positive 10. So your negative 4 is already here, so that one comes down first. So you have minus 4, then you have plus minus 10, it is crossing, so it becomes a plus 10. You have to write your numbers well. Okay, now 5x minus 4x. The answer is what? 1x. And normally when you have 1x, you don't bring the 1, you just bring the x. Because anytime a variable is standing on its own, there's automatically a 1 here, which the teacher already knows. You don't have to bring the 1 here. So now, you have what? You are owing 4, and your mom gave you 10. You went to pay your 4. How much are you left with? You are left with 6. So your answer is positive 6. So this is the final answer. So x is equal to 6. I hope you understand, and I hope it's making sense. Okay, let's look at number 2 question. Number 2 says 5y plus 1 is equal to 3y plus 3. Right, so you are going to open the bracket, right? That's the first thing we do. So 5 times y is what? 5y. Plus 5 times positive, it's a positive 1, so 5 times positive 1 is what? 5. Then you have 3 times y is what? 3y. Then you have 3 times 3, which is what? A positive 9. 3, 3, 9, and it is a positive here. The sign here is positive, so here we are safe. We do not have any negative here. Right, I said the next step is to do what? Is to group like terms. So all variables are coming here, and all natural numbers are also going to the what? To the other side. So that means 5y is already here. It is already in its house. So you bring the 3y to join it, and the 3y here is a what? It's a positive 3y. So when it crosses the equal to sign and it comes here, it becomes a minus 3y. You bring your equal to here. The 9 is already here, so you bring the 9 down here, and you see the 5. It's a positive 5. It is crossing the equal to sign. If it is a positive sign and it's crossing the equal to sign, it becomes a what? A negative 5. So you have negative 5 here. Right. Now 5y minus 3y is giving us what? It's going to give us a 2y. Right. Don't get confused with this one. You can just do away with the y for a minute and just do 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3 is what? 2. Then you just add your y to it. Okay. Now what do we have here? 9 minus 5 is what? It's a positive 4. Now, we want, you remember I always ask you this in class, that if I want my y to stand on its own, what do? What I do is I divide both sides by the coefficient of that variable. So the coefficient of y is what? 2. So if I want the y to stand on its own, I have to divide both sides by positive 2. Pay attention, it's a positive 2. If it were a negative 2, you would divide both sides by a negative 2. Please pay attention to these things. Okay, so we have over 2 here, over 2 here. Divide through by 2, 2 here, 2. So your final answer is y is equal to 2. Okay, so I hope it's making sense. As I always tell you, when I'm solving a question, try to write it down so that you don't have to waste so much credit to keep on playing the video. Okay, so this is how we solve it. So you see what we are doing here. At the end of the day, we are finding the value of the variables in the question. Okay, now let's go to question 3. So my paper is full. I'm going to move to the next one. The question says 3 into bracket y minus 1 is equal to 2, 5 minus 2y plus 1. Okay, so this is quite different from what we have been doing so far. This is quite different from what we have been doing. Now, we have this part, the first part of this question. It's very easy, right? So we are just going to use a 3 to open the bracket by multiplying the 3 with each member in the bracket. What do you realize here? You realize that this one, we have some numbers in the bracket, and we have another number which is not in the bracket. Do you realize it? So this one, these numbers are in the bracket. So for you to open the bracket, you use the 2 to multiply each member in the bracket. Do not use the 2 to multiply this 1. Do not use the 2 here to multiply this 1. This 1 is not in the bracket, so you don't do it that way. The 1 will just stand on its own. I hope you understand. Okay, so let's solve it. So we have 3 times y is giving us what? It's giving us a 3y. Now pay attention. What operation sign is here? It's a minus. So 3 times minus 1. Or what you can easily also do is that if it is a positive, just come and write plus. If it is a minus, just bring your minus. Alright? Or you can do what number? Is it a positive number or a negative number? You can do 3 times minus 1. But then again, you can just bring your operation sign here. So you can have your minus here because it's a minus, so you bring your minus here. Right? But the reason why I ask you to pay attention to the operation signs is that you might have a minus 3 here. Right? So if you think that because it's minus here, so you bring the minus down, then your answer will be wrong. Because if you have a minus 3 here, which is supposed to open the bracket, then you realize that minus 3 times minus 1 will not give you a minus 3, but it will give you a positive 3. You understand why I asked you to do the multiplication rather. So when you have a minus 3 here and you have a minus 1 here, now you know minus 3 times minus 1 will give you a positive 3. But if you will tell yourself that, oh, because minus is here, so I'll bring minus here. If you have a minus 3 here and you're using it to open a bracket with a minus 1 here, your answer will be wrong. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so 3 times minus 1 is going to give us a minus 3. Our equal to sign comes. So now, 2 times 5 is what? So the 2 is a positive, the 5 is a positive. So we are saying 2, 5, 10. We are multiplying 2 times a minus 2 here. So positive 2 times negative 2 will give us a what? Will give us a negative answer. So 2 times 2 is what? 4. So we have a minus 4. And you know the variable. You can multiply a number with the coefficient and the variable, but you cannot add them. You can multiply 2 times 2y, which will give us a 2 times negative 2y will give us a negative 4y. So you have negative 4y. That is it. You are finished with this one. Then you just carry your plus 1 and you bring it down here. Simple. Do you get it? Please, I'm saying it again. I know some of you don't use the 2 to multiply the 1. You only use the 2 to open the bracket. This one is not in the bracket, so don't use it to multiply the 2. Right, so this is how we do. Now, at this point, what did I say we do? We are going to group like terms, right? Let's group like this. I told you that the coefficients and the variables will come on the left-hand side, and the natural numbers or integers will go on the other side. So we have our 3y is already here, so you bring your 3y down there, because it's already in its rightful position. Now, do we have anything with a y here? Yes, we do. What is it? It is a negative 4y here. Do you see? The 4 is not a positive 4y, it is a negative. So when it crosses the equal to sign, it's going to be a what? It's going to be a plus 4y. Do we have any y? No. So we bring our equal to sign. Now this negative 3, it has to join these people. So we have a positive 10. The 10, I just brought it down here. And the y here, it's not crossing any equal to sign. So I just carry it like that just down here. Remember that it only changes when it crosses the equal to sign. This one, it has not crossed any equal to sign. So I carry it the same way it is down here. Alright, so you have your plus 1. I've also carried it down here. But this one is crossing the equal to sign. You get it? It's crossing to this place. So since it's a positive, it's a what? It's a negative 3 here. When it crosses the equal to sign, it's going to be a what? A plus 3. I hope you understand what is going on. Okay, so we have 3y plus 4y. I told you that when you have two variables, don't confuse it. You just do 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. Then you just bring 1y. So you have 7y. It's equal to 10 plus 1 is 11. 11 plus 3 is what? 14. Are we done? No. They didn't ask us to find 7y. They asked us to find only y. So what do? Because we want to find only y, and we want y to stand on its own, we divide both sides by the coefficient of y, which is what? 7. So we divide both sides by 7. Divide here 2 by 7. 7 here 1, 7 here 1, 7 here 1, 7 into 14, 2. So your y is equal to 2. Right. So you see how easy it is. Okay. Next and last question for the day. So the question is 4t minus 3t minus 1 is equal to 7. Okay. Now, do you see what is happening here? You are going to use the number that is in front of the bracket to open the bracket. Now, do you know the mistake some of you students do? Some of you students do this, 4t minus 3, and they come and write 1t. People, you don't do that. It doesn't work that way. You know that a number with a variable can never subtract or add to a number without that same variable. You understand? And even if it was 3t, you always use the number in front of the bracket to open the bracket. This one will come down the way it is, and this 3 will open the bracket. Please pay attention to this. Don't go and do 4t minus 3t and you write 1t before you come and use 1t to open the bracket. No, you are absolutely wrong. You use the number right in front of the bracket to open the bracket. Now let's watch this. So this 4t, it will just come down peacefully. You are not going to use it to do anything yet. Now, you ask yourself, the number that I'm using to open the bracket, is it a plus 3 or it is a minus 3? Then you realize that the number is a minus 3. So people, you are not going to use 3 pairs to open the bracket, so you are going to use the minus 3 to open the bracket. I hope you understand. You are going to use the minus 3. The whole minus 3 is going to multiply everything inside here. So let's do it. So minus 3 times t. Minus 3 times positive t will give you a what? A minus 3t. Minus 3 times positive 1. You see what I was saying with the other question? That if you make the mistake and say that because it is positive, so you come and write positive here, you'll be wrong. You have to do the multiplications right. So you have a negative number multiplying a positive number. So minus 3 times a positive 1. Minus times positive. You know that when they are multiplying each other, the minus is always stronger than the positive. So minus 3 times positive 1 will give us a what? A minus 3. Then you bring your equal to sign. This 7, it is not going to multiply anything. It's standing on its own, just like the 14. So you bring it down here. Okay, so we are going to continue. Now, what we have here is that we already have these people who have already grouped themselves, right? They've already been grouped. So what you are going to do is that you have your 4t minus 3t. So they are standing here. So you can bring it down here. 4t minus 3t. Then this minus 3, it has to join this 7. It doesn't have t, so it has to go and join this 7. So you have your 7, and this minus 3 is a negative 3. When it crosses the is equal to sign, it becomes a what? A plus 3. It becomes a plus 3. Oh, sorry, I wrote the question wrongly. Sorry. Now, sorry, this one is not a positive. It is not a positive 1. Sorry. So this question is wrong. Let me rewrite the correct question for you. So it's rather 4t minus 3t minus 1 is equal to 7. Right, sorry, this one is not a positive 1. It's a negative 1 in there. Okay, so let's redo it. So the same explanation stands. So your 4t will come down here. Minus 3, right? Minus 3 times t will give us a what? Minus 3t. Okay, just as I did it here. Now look here, minus 3 times minus 1. Negative times negative will always give us a what? A positive answer. So minus times minus 3 times minus 1 will give us a what? A plus 3. Do you all understand? Then you bring your what? Your 7 is still standing here. Okay, so the same thing. These ones are already grouped, so you leave it that way. And you just move this 3 to join the 7. So you have your 4t minus 3t is equal to 7. Now the 3 here is a positive 3. So when it crosses the is equal to sign, it's going to be a what? A minus 3. So you have minus 3 here. Now 4t minus 3t is what? Is 1t. You know 4 minus 3 is 1. But I told you anytime you have 1, you don't bring your 1t. It is just t. Because every person or every teacher knows that any variable that is standing on this one has an invisible 1 here. So you don't need to bring the 1t. Okay, then you have 7 minus 3 is what? 4. So your answer is t is equal to 4. Okay, so we're going to end here. Now you can see how I have presented my answers very beautifully. Anybody that sees can see that this is 4, this is 3, this is 7. Neatly presented. Neatly presented. And also watch out. You see, I already have is equal to's in the middle. So I didn't bring is equal to from the beginning. So some of you are not doing is equal to. No, don't do that. If you have is equal to, that you don't have 2 is equal to when you are solving a mathematics question. You don't do is equal to y is equal to 2. No, it doesn't work that way. So you can see that how about the 1 is equal to that is running out, or that is running through my solutions. Pay attention. Some of your handwritings too are very, very bad. When you write 6, you don't see the difference between 6. You don't see the difference between 5 and S. Your 4, you don't write your 4 well. Your 7, you don't write your 7 well. Pay attention to how I have written my answers and how I presented my solution, and do it the same way. So as usual, I'll put the questions on the board, and I'll see you all on Friday. Have a good day.